Puke. Um, I knew
It's always the
we just
intro.
already like kind of well, yeah, we kind of already asked we were what our days were kind of already.
I know mine has been shitty. Kinda. I didn't
But
even do my 12 3:30 that I was planning on doing.
oh no, I feel like it always
Because,
sucks when like things get in your way of like your routine.
right, it's like when you just can't focus. Like I just could not focus at the gym. One, I think I was taking too much caffeine. Like caffeine, I don't like as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't. Sorry, let me see something. Okay. Like I don't like as much caffeine. And it messes with you. So it's like when you're taking like these energy drinks or whatever, like the Celsius one has 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's a lot. It's a lot. It gets you riled up. So that's a lot of caffeine for that one. But how was your day? What did you do today?
I went to class, but like
How was class?
class was good, but like the thing that was bad
Mm.
was like I went to like to Starbucks because I was like I need some coffee to start off my day, which I like I'm I'm gonna admit my coffee addiction. But I went to Starbucks and this is when you're just like why is this happening? But my card wasn't in my bag. Like my whole wallet wasn't in my bag, right? And then I realized I was like, oh, I used it last night. That's why it's not in my bag. So then I call my mom and I'm like, are you still at home? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, can you go check to see if it's in like downstairs in the basement or in my room? So she found the wallet. So I was like, okay. Like I thought at first I was like, did someone just steal my wallet? But it was fine. But she just sent me like a picture of it so I could get lunch. So that was fine. But it was so funny because she was like, you're so lucky because what if like someone did steal it? And then she was also, you're so lucky because I was literally like, when you called me, I was like about to literally step out of the house, like go to her class, right? And so I was like, you're saying it, so it's true. Like I was lucky for that. Because truly, if I had called a minute later, she would have left and like gone to her class. Like there's nothing I was shut out of luck, like I would have
Right.
hungry pretty much because I was gonna buy lunch. So I was like, oh no, like
You know what it's time for? Time for you to put some Apple Pay. Put your card
I that
on your
was
phone.
that was like definitely a huge sign where I was like, I need to use Apple Pay for sure. Because if I didn't have my laptop, then I can order the food I wanted. Like it would have been really shit. So I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
glad
you would have been hungry.
I would have been starving because and also I don't get home till like later. Like
Mm-hmm.
probably around like 5 o'clock. Like that's when I'm
Right.
home. So it's like I would have been starving since like and I leave left the house around like 8:30ish to catch the last bus to Pentagon and then to Boston. So I was like, oh no, like that would have been really bad. But it was also one of those things I was like, I'm glad I'm like even though it's a shit situation and like obviously it sucks when you don't have your wallet, but it was like, okay, there's there's goodness in the world, The more you
Mm-hmm. No, it
so
was like I had that same situation. It's like when I got my new phone, right? Like like when you get your new phone, like sometimes like my Apple Pay didn't transfer on to like all my cards information didn't transfer onto the phone, obviously, because like security reasons. It's like that means that they know my entire card information that I typed in, right? It's all my cards were on my phone, but obviously they don't. And obviously, like I'm just like, I don't want to put my cards on it. It's gonna, like help me save some money, right? Because if I have my card, even if I don't have my wallet on me, I'll have my phone, like my card on my phone. I'm just like, I can just put my phone there. You know, it's the new swiping. You know what I mean? It's the new swipe. And so I remember, I wanted to get some food, and obviously I didn't have my wallet on me because I used to keep it in my bag, or it's like I forgot what I was doing that day, but I didn't have my wallet on me. And then that's when I tried scanning, and I was like, "What? I don't have my wallet. I don't have no cards on my phone." And I had to eat saliva for the rest of the for okay, I hadn't eat saliva, but I just didn't have anything to eat or like buy anything. So I literally had to like starve until I got home. It was the most shittiest thing ever. So Apple Pay really does come in handy for sure. It for
Yeah,
sure does come in handy.
no, for real. But I'm pleased to announce
Why do
I
you say it like that?
I now have
Oh,
a
oh wait, for real?
yeah,
It's okay because I was literally thinking
no,
about
that was
this.
why my wallet was left behind is because I got it last night. Because I was like,
Oh,
yeah, and it was on my bed because I was typing in my card information on my bed.
woo!
So
Finally,
yeah,
finally, I
we'll
was
be
already
on
thinking about that.
Saturday, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go on
Heck,
Saturday and
yes,
also go on Sunday. I'm trying to like do it as like an early bird type of thing, like go pretty early. Just because I think it'll help with my schedule, and then also, um, yeah. So I'm gonna do Friday. Well, the schedule I'm thinking of doing is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but like in the morning time.
that's good. 3 days.
Yeah, because I'm like,
Chilly.
that's a good place to start. And then if I'm like also plus driving, like it'll be better to like I might add more in the week if I feel like. But also it's like I do get home like at 5, but then I feel like it's never a good excuse because I'm like, that's how like I guess you don't want to work out. Is like you'll be like, what's it called? Like, oh, like it's so late in the day. But then I'm like, if you have the energy, you can do it and you can get up and go. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start with those days.
That's good. I always wish I had like a buddy. You know what I mean? To like work out.
We will be gym buddies in the future. Very
We're
soon.
praying for it.
Stay tuned. Coming soon to a theater near you.
Also, so it's like I'm having, I don't say like I'm having financial issues, right? But it's just like it just got me thinking. Oh, because I guess my mom said out loud for me, just like you only have that amount saved. And I'm like, I do. Where the fuck my money go? I don't buy and like as money goes, it's just like it just randomly popped in my head. I'm just like, where the fuck does my money be going? Like,
Good question.
other than just like paying for like my credit card, but that's that, right? And I guess like December, I guess it makes sense. Like December and whatnot, like I paid for like some I paid for like, clothes and stuff like that. Not clothes, for like, nail stuff, nails, and I bought hair. So it's like that was that, right? An investment. It's only been like 1 month after. But it's
Yeah.
like your money do be disappearing. It's like I'm thinking I'm doing a good job saving. I'm just like, no, I don't. But now I am. Now I am because it's like I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, Grandpa.
No, for real. Like I'm about to fix up my cover letter. Well, not about to, because I did do it yesterday. So in my resume, like today we were doing that in class, was like the job, like job section of the course or whatever.
Right.
We were talking about that and talking about graduation and like I guess we were just like she was asking us like interview questions and stuff. Especially because
Hated that.
we're gonna be entry level. So I was like, these are good times to like
Now
learn
with this
how to,
recession going on.
huh?
So now with this recession going on.
No, for real. Because I'm like,
That
okay,
we're about to enter actually.
like I'm like, this is the perfect time either to like nab a new job, like right before things really get to shit. Um, but yeah. Think and also it's like so many things are getting more expensive.
That is true.
But like it's so interesting because like you'll ask one person and they'll be like, the job market is amazing. And then you'll ask another person, it's like the realities of the job market, it is trash. Like it's always so like
Right. It's
who's
like I didn't even know. I guess because I guess like do if you don't grocery shop as much, right, as often, you can't really like you don't really know the price of how things should normally be. So like when I grocery shop, I'm just like, oh, this is fairly cheap to me, But I'm like, maybe this is super expensive now than what it normally is, but it's because I don't typically grocery shop as much, right?
yeah.
I don't know, it just popped in my head. Popped in my head. But anyways, what's the topic of the day, Amory?
Our topic today is friendship breakups.
I used to say it like we're in a class lesson.
I don't know. I'm sure this is gonna get better over time too. The
Right.
intro, the transitions into
Exactly. The transitions are
um
gonna be
yeah,
better, but
but
friendship breaks up. Friendship breakups, are they worse than boyfriend breakups, significant other breakups?
um,
I'd say yes.
oh no, they are like I feel like I've cried more over friends. Well, no,
Oh,
not in that way.
I was gonna say I don't think I cried over for
No, but
anyone.
I'm like, I feel like it hurts like on a deeper level, like when that happens compared to a relationship breakup. And like, I think it's definitely one of those things where like through the years, they've like evolved of like the depth of how I view them and also the actual reasons too have also evolved and become a bit more like either more critical, not in a bad way, but like actually analyzing relationships with people and what's healthy and what's unhealthy and things like that.
Right.
But you know, those they hurt. They hurt so
Maybe
bad.
I'm just, emotionless, like I have no feelings. I don't know. I guess like over time, like I'll start to like miss that person in a way. But in that moment, I don't feel nothing. I'm just like, it is what it is. Or just like I'll just end things and just like it is what it is. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But it's just like, well, I feel like to me that just tells me like a little bit more, right? That this friendship wasn't, as much of a friendship that I thought it was, right? Because it's like only one person, but it's like I have friendship. I'm just like, I felt nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like I could like be able to carry on with my day. Yet we went through this like big argument, whatever, to end things that you would assume would be like leave me like crying. Not crying, but it's just like super sad. But it's like, no, I didn't feel nothing. I didn't feel nothing. What was your worst friendship breakup?
My worst friendship breakup
And what
was
was it over?
worst friendship breakup was I think well no, I have two that like I don't know. I feel like there's never worse. They all hurted in that same pinpoint. But the worst one I think was senior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends. And what was worse about it? What was worse about it? English,
What
English.
was worse about
What
it?
was worse about it? But I think what I've also like learned over time thinking about this
The
breakup
bitches ain't shit. I'm kidding. Just
that
kidding.
but also it's like she like we were all evolving in such a very critical point in time and we didn't know how to handle it or communicate about it and it was very like gossipy bitchy kind of way of handling it and like we were talking about this yesterday
Mm-hmm.
that my friend literally like tore apart in a way and it was definitely one of those things where I think we get so comfortable with how we view our friends that when they change, it's very uncomfortable because you're used to, pertaining this person in a specific light and perspective. And now when they're either moving
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's very weird. It's a very weird feeling. It's a weird situation sometimes, especially if you're not mature enough to like handle it on both parts, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Not the both part. I'm mature.
But
As we're just doing all
I
that.
think because it was like we were freshly 18, like, and still very immature, like it felt like one, we were doing spiteful things and she was also doing spiteful things, right? So it hurt because it was like, I thought I knew you, but now I don't know who you are or who
Mm-hmm.
you're choosing to become. And it feels weird to me because I, love a version of you that I've been comfortable with. And I either need to give you the space to evolve the person you need to be, or we're gonna be growing and evolving separately. And I think over time, like even now, I'm like, maybe we could try that friendship again because other than the other messier aspects that were happening, I don't think there was a full picture. Like, I still to this day feel like I don't know the full story from her perspective. And that is also like, that's also with maturity. Like, now I want to know her perspective. At the time, I was like, bye, bitch. Like, da, 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 da. You know, like you feel so like impulsive to just like let it go. But then
Right.
you're also at the same time like, now at this age I'm like, I really didn't know her perspective. Like, I didn't know, like, as much as she did tell us at the time, I still don't know the full story of what she was going through for her to lead to those actions. Like, I want to know that why did that happen. Sometimes it really there isn't a why. It's just,
Right.
it's over and done with. But and like go your separate ways. But sometimes there is a why. And I maybe I'm also being a very critical overcritical with the situation. But I feel like there was a why. And like, it's so funny because we were such good friends. That's the part that always gets me with even the ones in freaking elementary school. Like, we were such good friends. What happened? Like, what was this flip of the switch for us to now not vibe anymore?
Oh,
But
I don't know, like maybe I feel like elementary and middle school is kind of different, because it's like you're still very young, right? You're still very
yeah.
young. You don't know who you want to be your friends and whatnot with. But then it's like high school moving forward, you kind of like grasp a feeling of like who you want to surround yourself with, right? So obviously, like I'm not thinking, like I'm not like for me, I'm not wondering why wasn't I friends with, like, why am I not still friends with my third grade bestie? You know what I mean? Like obviously, like there's friendships like that are out there that last, but I don't know. I've never thought that far back.
Well,
And
no,
I feel like I still kind of talk to people.
I guess
And I
what
think
I
it's just environment stuff too.
That's true. But like, when I mean like we were such good friends, even with those friendship breakups, was because like I feel like we all transcended. Well, obviously we are like, it's so long ago that like, how deep was that friendship? Like, y'all were in
Right.
a box together type of thing. But at the same time, for me, like, I've always moved around a lot. So like, I'll gain these amazing friendships, but never really like get to see them into full fruition because I had to move again. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like these like almost like the ones that got away type of friendships. So like there was never really a breakup. It was just like, oh, like I gotta move, bye.
So
And
then that's your answer then.
that's true. But I don't know. Maybe I always want to know like maybe
Look
there's
there.
something more there, you know? But that also gives you insight on my character. But I think it's definitely one of those things with like the older you get, the more like there can be to see like to actually be able to evaluate there. Um
It's like for me, it's like when you're talking about like my thing, my like so my friendship breakup, right? It's a weird one. So it's I wouldn't say weird specifically, but it could have ended many different ways, right? Could have ended many different ways, but there was a lack of possibly from both sides, but obviously from my perspective, I think there was a lack of from the other person, right?
mhm.
So, and obviously it's like I'm interpreting like it. The other person might say like that's not true, but just like the way that I see it as, it's kind of like maybe jealousy came into play, right? But obviously, like once you get into high school, right, you are bound to change. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like the new experience that you're experiencing, right? People who you're hanging out with, like you're bound to change. Like I'm no longer that same exact person that I was back in high school, the same rowdy person who didn't care all these things, right? You know what I mean? I'm not that person anymore. And it's like I'm now coming into who I actually am, right? It's like what I actually like and dislike and things like that, right? And so just like that's give me a second. anyways, right? So like who I was back then in high school, I'm not gonna be the same person now, right? It's like I know better now. I know how to stick up for myself. And it's like as I'm getting older, I'm setting more and more and more boundaries for myself too, right? That's one thing as well. So it's like, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's one thing, right? So me and this person, so it's like we connected, here and there, whatever. You can say best friend, basically, right? Like it's like that thing where it's like you have your college bestie, you have your like college bestie, and then you have your childhood bestie, right? And it's
Hmm.
just like sometimes you can either mix match two people together, right? But sometimes you just know because you just know both of them so well, right? They're just two different from each other, right? And so this obviously involved you. You were part of the situation plenty of times, Emery, too. That's one thing. But hopefully you can just put yourself into what I'm saying, right? When I say college bestie, then child,
Yeah.
So it's like that's that, right? So it's that thing where it's like, obviously, I'm in college still. I'm gonna see you more often, right? And it's like as I'm growing up too, into like into learning what I like and dislike, it's like we have so much in common, right? We have much more in common, right?
Hmm.
Because obviously it's like, like we share lots of things, we bond and blah, blah, blah. Like I have really great conversations with you and whatnot, right? Not saying I don't have that with other person, right? But it was just not the exact same thing, right? It's like I like situation that I would come to you for would be different from that person. You know what I mean? It's just like how before it's like I would go towards this person for like super personal things, right? Because it's like I knew her for a very long time, right? And it's like she understood, right? But it's like now the person no longer in my life. It's like it's now you, right? But it's like before it was just like things that were just like here and there, right? But it's like if I'm telling someone something, it's like she knows first and you know second, right? That was it, right? And then it became like this thing where it's like whenever I just went out with you and things like that, right? It was more so like I would get these Instagram DMs, like if I'm taking a picture with you, like I would get these Instagram DMs saying, right? It was just like, like like not like a good one, but it's just like, but it's just like a sassy type of passive aggressive. I'm just like, what's the problem, right? Like, what's the problem? And it was like, it'd be like nothing. I'm like, they're typing this for a reason on this very specific picture with me and Anne Marie, right? So it's like I can hint at, I'm hinting at something, right? But I know you're probably gonna deny that as the answer, right? So I want to hear what you gotta say first before I give my 2 cents, right? And so like that was going on and whatnot, right? It was just like very passive aggressive whenever like I would hang out with you and whatnot, right? It was just like always like sort of like a problem, right? It was sort of like a problem. It was just like, and like all of that is kind of like jealousy, right? It's kind of like jealousy. That's the thing. And like that's what I was hinting. I'm just like, it's just jealousy, But I'm just like, there's nothing to it whatsoever, right? There's nothing to it whatsoever. Cause it's like I feel like I'm balancing the time because I obviously if I'm in school, I'm in school, right? And it's just like you're also working also like very often too. Like she's working like all the time as well. So that was one thing too, right? And so that was that. It was just like that was kind of like stirring up in the pot a little bit. I guess like she was holding it back a little bit, right? But it's like I could hint at it. You know what I mean? It was just like very passive aggressive whenever I posted here and there. I'm just like, okay, whatever, that's that. If you don't want to tell me, you don't want to tell me. But it's like I feel like I'm hinting at something, right? And it's the thing, just like I just feel like I'm just like we're just growing apart. You know what I mean? We're just like slowly growing apart at the exact same time, right? Not to put her business out there too either, but it's just like she's fallen out with people in the past too, right? So it's just like I was mainly the only person that she would want to hang out with, right? So it's just like it felt like I had to give this person all my attention towards her, right? But I'm just like I have other people in my life too, right? That's like I don't want to give you all my undivided attention. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's just that was just too much, right? That was just too much, right? So it's like I just go back and forth, right? And mind you, she was I'm not gonna say that, but anyway, so that was that, right? That's when it got to this point when I was starting up Twitch, right? So it's like I was gonna start up Twitch and whatnot, and like start doing all that, right? And this is where it's like it went like sour, right? This is where it went sour, right? But I didn't tell you. No, I think I told. No, I didn't tell you about this, but
Me a little bit, but not a lot.
yeah. So it's like this is where it went sour. Where I was just like, this is the point where I'm talking about setting boundaries. It's like that was never I guess that was never a thing that we would do in our friendship, right? Which is like you need to set boundaries with your friendship, right? Doesn't matter how long you've been with them forever, that's an important thing, right? So I was setting boundaries. I was setting up boundaries. I remember she was saying she was kind of like trash talking, right? We were playing games. She was like saying, you're so bad, blah, blah. I'm just like, I was just like, I don't need that energy, right? It's like I don't need that energy for playing a game, right? It's like you obviously know that I'm bad at the game, right? So it's like, and you obviously play the game a lot, but I don't need the energy towards me, right? And I remember I thought it was gonna be like, okay, cool, I'm sorry, blah blah, And then mind you, this is like every time we play a game, and not just that one instant. This is like anytime we play a game, it was always that vibe, that energy that I just did not like, right? Especially if we're going into Twitch, I already I'm gonna get shit on from people who are just coming to play, right? Like people who think no, but that people from people who think that they know better at the game than me. Like people who are like backseating, right? It's like
Mm.
I don't need like a backseating person, a backseating friend. You know what I mean? It's like I'm gonna experience that getting into Twitch. All right, I don't need that more than that another one from a friend, right? And so, like, I told her, I was just like, hey, I don't like that, blah, blah. I thought it was gonna be like, okay, cool, I'm sorry, blah, blah. I won't do it again, right? No, 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 no. It went sour for me. I was just like, what the fuck? That was so, she was like, what are you talking about? Like, I ain't do that, blah, blah. It was just like, I was just like, what the fuck? It was like, it was the most like, I didn't do that. It was just like kind of denying it. It's just like, oh, why are you getting mad at this? Like, what are you talking about? It's like, what happens when you get hate from people online? I'm just like, that's from people online. That's from the strangers. That's different. I'm friends with you. Like, I don't need that from a friend. A stranger, I can, probably rat off, like tell it off. Cause it's like, I don't know you, you don't know me, right? So I'm obviously tell you fuck off, right? But it's just like, I don't need that from a friend. It's completely different. Stranger versus friend, completely different. If my friend was in my ear talking about how shit I am at a game, I do not like that. A stranger's okay, whatever, right? I don't know you at all, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I won't take it as badly as it is from a friend because it's like a friend obviously hurts more than a stranger. You know what I mean? Like I owe the stranger nothing. I mean, I don't owe her anything either, but it was just like that was that, right? So we were going on, and so I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like all I asked for, like I told her I was like, you're like blowing this way out of proportion. Like all I asked was like, like you just don't do that whenever we play games and whatnot. She was like, okay, if I don't play games with you ever again and whatnot, right? This will be our last time we're playing games. I'm just like, what the fuck? All I asked was that you just don't do this and you just don't talk shit because it's like I don't play any games at all. I'm literally getting into this scene. Like the last time I played a game was like probably a PC game specifically was back in freaking elementary school. So it's like obviously like you're playing with someone who doesn't know anything, so you know what to expect. Obviously, like if I'm playing games with you who don't play games at all, it's like I'm not gonna like make you feel even more freaking bad about it. You know what I mean? When you're probably even trying your best too, right? That's how I probably was. But anyways, that spirals into like like her sending voice message and blah blah, right? And I'm just like, okay, whatever. That's when we're on a phone call together, right? We're on a phone call. And because I think she calls me, all right, call her. I was like, we'll just talk about it, right? Because it's like this text message stuff is not working, right? I was like, we'll just call. And then that's when we're just like, we're kind of just like going at it, right? I'm just like I guess like everything comes out the bag, right? She's telling me how she feels and whatnot, right? She feels that we're just growing apart. I hang around with you, blah blah, like like how I don't like she kept. So the reason why she kept saying right, the reason she kept saying whenever I post pictures of us two on Instagram was because like she thought that I don't post any pictures with her on Instagram. But I'm just like, you don't do that with me either. What the hell, like
Oh.
that's one thing. It's like you're asking for something that you don't do in return as well. You know what I mean? And it's like when I do, like, when I am with you, it's kind of like a very chill day. You know what I mean? It's like a very chill day. We're probably running errands. I don't look cute either. I'm not gonna post me looking slobbish in a freaking bonnet and put on Instagram. You know what I mean? And it's like and plus I'm always one bringing out my camera too. You know what I mean? But it's like it always takes two to tango. My things always takes. It's like you're asking for something that you don't do yourself either, but you want me to do this for you. You know what I mean? And it's like it was which wasn't true. It's like I always posted her too. Whenever we did look, whenever I was doing her makeup, whatever, I also did do that, right? But it was like she was asking for more when I didn't get that in return from her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like she was like coming at me. The way I see it is like she was coming at me for things that I didn't do with her when it was the exact same way around too, which didn't make sense to me, right? I'm just like you're complaining about things that you don't do yourself either. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But she felt like I do it a lot with you, right? That was it. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. We're going at each other. She's breaking all that. She was just like, I feel like we're just, like we're just slipping away from each other. I'm just like, people change here and there. You know what I mean? It's like all I asked was like a boundary, right? It's like, like a boundary. It's like I'm getting into like creating boundaries with people who, there's just people in general, right? Because like it's important to set boundaries. So it's like that's one thing I guess like is new within our friendship, but she took it way out of proportion. Like I was coming at her, like I was coming for her throat. You know what I mean? I'm just setting clear boundaries. Like if you did the same thing to me, I'd understand as well. It's like if you don't like this, I'm not gonna do it. That's all that it was, right? In my head, it was all that it was. But I guess she took it like I was coming at her. You know what I mean? Because obviously she could interpret it as however she wants to through text message and whatnot, right? But like I try to discuss it, right, later on. I think I delete all the messages, but maybe I have them, but I don't want to read them. But anyways, that was that. She was like, we're slipping away from each other. I've been feeling this way for a very long time. I'm just like, why don't you say that? You know what I mean? It's like, why don't you say that? And I was just like, I remember I was bringing up examples. Like whenever I brought anything up, right? Anything up, she'd take it as like, why are you comparing me to this person, not that person? I'm just like, I'm not comparing you to the person. I'm comparing you to the situation at hand, right? It's similar to what we're going through right now. I brought up I think I brought up someone, another friendship. I'm just like, well, she was talking to someone, right? It's like, my thing is like, what blows me so much, right? And when people feel some type of way, right? Especially when they're with the boyfriend, right? When they're with the boyfriend, right? They feel some type of way, right? But they're able to communicate with their boyfriends, right? Like if they're mad, they'll easily express that towards their boyfriend, right? Like I'm mad at you. But it's like whenever it was for me, it was just like no, 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 like no, no, no. So I'm just like, just tell me how you feel, right? So it's like I guess she's been feeling this way for a very long time, right? So I hinted at it, but it's like whenever I did confront her, it'd always be like no, right? It's like I don't feel like this, blah blah, like no, 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 right? So it's like, like it's like you're able to express how you feel towards your boyfriend, but it's like I'm now hearing about this now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
why am I, it's like if it's eating at you, right? Why didn't you come at me? Right. And it's like when I did try to bring these things up, it was more so just like no, like no, like it was more passive aggressive, just like things like that. I'm just like, okay, what's the problem? Like, like things like that. So like things were just coming out, whatever, right? And I was just like, I think it was like the point where I'm just like, what should we do now and whatnot, right? And she was just like, no, the point was just like she didn't want to. I forgot because it was like a long time ago. It was like something where it was like her herself didn't want to change, right? So a change that could like be substantial to the relationship, right? I'm just like, I can't force you not to change. Like if you don't change, like this part that could help the relationship, right? Our friendship, right? And it's like I can't do anything to that. You know what I mean? But I forgot what it was. But that was like kind of like the biggest part of it, where I'm just like, there's nothing that I can do further from here because you're not wanting to like change, right? So I'm willing to make changes about certain things about how I go, but it's like you're not willing to as well. Then it's like we can't really move forward all together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forgot what that part was because it's literally like almost a year ago, right? But that was that, and I'm just like, well, I guess we just like literally the phone call, like right after that, we literally just like ended things. Like sometimes I'm just like, like, like
I don't know, like it's so heart-wrenching. Like even though you said like it's a phone call, but it's like I don't know, like years of knowing someone, like and that just
it for sure hurt. It for sure hurt because it was like the way that we like got back into talking too. It was just like it was over. I think I posted something on Snapchat when I had Snapchat at the time, and then that's when she was like, "Oh, like that looks cute," and we just like started talking. So I remember like I was telling you like yesterday about how we stopped talking towards the end of our senior year, right? We stopped talking
Mhm.
because she fell out the group and whatnot that we had, and that's when we started talking back again. That's when we just started talking here and there, right? But I'm just interested into like see because obviously I haven't discussed it with anyone. Like I haven't discussed like me and this breakup, right? Because like she's come over my house all the time. I used to go over hers, blah blah. Her mom loved me, my mom loved her, blah blah. Right? So it's like my mom's always asking me like what happened and whatnot. I'm just like, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, I just wonder what her side of the story is. You know what I mean?
Like what
Like
she
what
said to
she's
other
saying.
people.
Yeah, what she's like. That's what interests me the most. I'm just like, I
Yeah,
wonder what
that's
she's
interesting.
saying, like
Like
about what had happened. Because
yeah,
it's like this is all about like I guess it was all about like how she's felt over time, right? But it's like something that she it's like I'm gonna say like I hinted at it, but it's like whenever I hinted at it and like I would like ask her why. There's no answer for that. You know what I mean? Like there's no answer for that. It's like, like if you don't I'm not trying to force anything out of you either. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not about to tell me why. I don't want to put words in your mouth either, too. It's like if you didn't tell me how you felt, it's like you didn't tell me how you felt, right? And it's like now you're telling me towards the end of how you feel, right? When it's like I'm just like, but then it's like, you want to make things work and whatnot, right? She was just like, because I think it was like the part was like she didn't want to like she's been feeling this way for a very long time, and I don't think she's ever gonna stop feeling this way, and all this and all. I'm just like, I just can't change that. I literally can't change that, and I don't want to change that either, right? So it's like there's nothing more that I can do here, right? In a way. And then yeah, that's when I just seen that she unfollowed me on everything. I think except for TikTok though. I don't know. It was weird. I I remember I see all of her like tweets and stuff like that on Twitter. I no longer see it. I'm just like, I don't know if she like unfollowed me or whatever, or if like just it was just like a Twitter thing. But I know on Instagram, Instagram has like the that setting where you can like make that person unfollow you.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like I can go to your name and make you unfollow me. So it's like I think that was what happened. I'm just like, okay. I mean, I still wish her like happy birthday. I think she wished me happy birthday that following year too. So I'm just like, well, but it was just like nothing more, nothing less. But I just wonder what she's saying. It's interesting to me. But it's
Mhm.
important to set boundaries, guys. Setting boundaries is like so important. It's like no matter what relationship that you're in, it's so important because it's like you just don't want people to walk all over you. You know what I mean? And it's just like that's one thing that I like should have done from the beginning. You know, it's like when I initially felt this way. Like someone at my job told me it's like don't like just like if you had a problem with it initially, just set that boundary right there and then. Like don't wait until later on. My thing is I was trying to like give people like the benefit of the doubt, just like, just like, it's okay. It won't happen again. You know what I mean? I trust you. It won't happen again. You won't do this again because it's like but it's like no, it happens again. It happens again. And that's when things get over and that's when you lose your friend. But it's fine.
Yeah. No, I think it's always sad because like I don't know, like for me it's like I'm very selective with who I'm vulnerable with. And when these things happen, I always have this like gut-wrenching feeling like they're about to use everything I just told them in my face. Or like you know how it's like arguments can get like that? Thankfully, well, no. I think I
That's
have
fucked up. If someone did that.
like I think that's why I'm trying to think about like the actual, but I always have this fear of like they're going to use these things like that I've said
Against
to them.
you at
Yeah,
some point.
but
Makes
my thing is
sense.
if they've always hold that if they've held that against you, they've
It
resented
says
you for a while. Like if anyone's ever gonna like use the most vulnerable things you've told them against you, they were holding that ammo for
right.
some time now. But my thing is also if like we're at an age also where I feel like you should already be having these discussions with people before things blow up and it's like it has to be this detrimental ultimatum of like we're either staying friends or we're not.
That's what happened to me.
But it's
It
like
led to that.
but then I think it's also on her end if she was really feeling like there were ways to rescue in a sense
I think so too. Like
of
I
like
think so
communicating
too.
with like maybe it's more about like spending more time together and like having those moments where you do get cute together and like go out if that was such a huge important thing to her. So it's like advocating for yourself and what you need out of the relationship. Like it's so weird because I feel like in relationships like you see so much of this like content online as well of like what you're supposed to do. Like we're so quick to do these for boys of like I'm gonna put him straight. I'm gonna tell him this, right? But for our girlfriends, it's like this soft spot. And of course it's a soft spot. These people have either known you for a long time or you've, given your heart to them in a way of like sharing things. But at the same time, that's a healthy thing to do where it's like it's not detrimental of the relationship, but this is what I want to do or this is what I'm comfortable with. What are you comfortable with? Like what's going on with you? Like those check-ins help so much.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like I don't know, it's just like so that just gives me like the biggest ick right there. It's like and that's what like happened to like my other friend in like the past where I think I told you it was just like the same thing where it's like she's just so quick to do things with her boyfriend that she literally reconnected with, but it was like for me with someone who I've known you literally since the sixth grade that you just like whenever she would get mad she would get quiet not text me. I mean and it's like, what? I know damn well if your boyfriend did something like that, you're quick because like obviously like she tells me like we're in a situation together. So it's like not like I'm assuming that whenever they're getting mad that like they're automatically like telling their boyfriends. Like I'm there in that situation. Like, I'm like there with them. So it's like I know when they get mad and they get furious about something, they go straight to the boyfriends. Like if they're getting mad at their boyfriends, obviously, like they're going straight to the boyfriends, like let them know are they mad, right? Or whoever they're talking to. So it's like I know that. Like I've been in a situation where they're on the phone with them and whatnot, right? So it's like when it's like on the flip side, I'm just like you're getting like something about like me and you, but you can't tell me. I'm just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, why can't you? You know what I mean? It just like leads to big things bigger and bigger. And it's like things that I just can't like take it anymore, right? And so it's like the last time, just like a beep in my ear for the other girl, not the one I just talked about, but like the other girl was in college. It's like when I told her, like, it was about something. I forgot it was about something. And then I was just like, like blah blah, like we were just texting, and I knew she was getting mad, right? So I was trying to see if she's gonna tell me why she's mad at, like mad at me or like respond to me. But it was just like, nope, she didn't respond to me at all, and I didn't text her back either. I was just like, I'm ending this thing right now because I just can't take it. I can't take it. Call me cutthroat, but it's like I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. Like whenever you're mad at me, but you can't tell me that you're mad at me, right? It's like I understand how boys feel now. I understand how the guys feel when their girls are mad and they won't say nothing. Like I understand how that feels because it's like I'm not gonna force it out of you either. It's like just tell me why you're mad at me. Like just tell me. Like
Yeah.
obviously it's not gonna be the most simplest thing. Like even if you text me through, mind you, we're texting. We're texting. That's the thing. I'm not in person, no, confronting you. You know what I mean? I'm not
Mhm.
in person. Like this is through text. And mind you, like we went over this before too. Like it happened before where in person when I did like I was with her and whatnot. Right? I think we texted. After we met up in person, right? Because we were on the same floor in school. Like she was there crying. Obviously, she was crying because it's like she felt bad and whatnot. Right? I'm just like let's just move forward and not let it happen anymore. All right? No, no, it happened again. So it's like those tears were they fucking fake, man? Were they fucking fake? Were they? But but yeah, maybe I am cutthroat with some friends, but it's just like it's things I'm just like it just happens so often, right? And it's
Mhm.
like not that I just don't speak out against it. I do speak out against it, right? But it's just like something that they just kind of just like blow over their shoulders in a way. I'm just like, if you don't respect my feelings and how I feel, it's like there's nothing left here. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing left here.
Yeah. Like for me, I've always been like, I don't know, my community or like the girls I have in my life, right? The girls I have in my life. I always feel like I like, I don't know, you can also vouch for this too. But like I'm the type of person also it's like if I want to fix something, I want to fix it immediately. And
Not
some
true. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
for sure for me it's like dire situation like, where I
I'm
can
kidding.
tell like this
No, no, no.
hurting. Like I can tell like my friend is hurting and I've hurt them in some way, right? I want to be as empathetic as possible because I think at that moment, like I know that I care more about the relationship surviving than like, you know, thinking about how I feel. Like I think it's one of those things where like some people don't tend to have that like what's it called? Like some like in a sense how you say you're cutthroat, right? Like for the people that I have in my life right now, like I can like obviously I'll never be cutthroat to you guys. Like I just don't see that. But then
Mm-hmm.
people I've also been very cutthroat. Like
Right.
our friendships where I've been like, oh, like you know, like you don't really care about me. I don't really care about you. And it's so sad because I'm like, was that even a friendship or like was that an acquaintanceship that was elongated for a long time? You know, like I've just known you for a long time, but never fully known you, like
Mm-hmm.
the surface you, like. But yeah, I think I don't know. Like I've always wanted to feel like these are discussions of like, okay, this is how I feel, and like I want you to be honest and say how you feel, and then we can go back and forth however long it takes, and then we're like, okay, we talked about it. We let out our true feelings about it because then it's like we can move forward in the friendship and also setting those healthy boundaries of like, oh, so you're not comfortable with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that anymore. Or, oh, you want this like to happen? Like we can do that. And like I think it's interesting to me because like for certain friendships like that I've had since high school, we're in this weird transition phase of like we're going into our 20s and now our friendship is changing all over again. And we're almost like giving it a new term, you know, like it's a
Right.
new season of our lives. And like one thing I think is very important is like giving people grace to, and that's what I don't think we did for our friend in high school that much at times. But then I also think there's parts of it where she also fucked up and like
Mm-hmm.
there was these it was like she drew these very dark marks in the sand of like, this is how I feel about this, you know? Even without saying it, your actions was so clear. But I don't know. I think it's really about like how much you want to put in.
Mm-hmm.
Friendships are like any other relationship in your life.
Right.
They deserve work.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to do that work. So
Exactly. And I was gonna say I can attest to the like whenever you feel like there's like something like if I'm like bringing something up, right? I'm like bringing like, oh, I don't like this, blah blah, whatever. You are quick on that, a little too quick sometimes for me. I'm just like, I need a little bit of space. I'm just like, she's texting me.
you're
I'm just
like,
like,
why?
it's like literally, it's like 1 second. If I don't respond to you, it's like another text message. I'm just like, okay, I'm good. It was okay. It was okay. But
Why did you have to be so in my face?
it's like, okay, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I was like, I'm okay now. I'm okay now. But it's like, yeah. And it's just like for like going back to it, it's like I took a lot from like because you taught me a lot of things. Like the way how I used to like just go about just like certain things, right? It's like I learned a lot from you. And like I'll try to approach that kind of like that exact same format with that friendship. But it was just like it was not like saying like, I was trying to recreate us with her. It's more so just like the way we talk, the way we just approach things, like kind of like make the relationship like grow and just like just grow and flourish, right? But it's just like it was that thing where it's like I'm no longer the person that she longed for, yearned for. Like she even said that I'm like, I think it was like point where she's like I'm changing and whatnot, right? I'm just like, but it's like like everyone's changing, right? And it's like it's one thing. It's like your environment too, Like I think if the roles were reversed, it'd be the exact same way. You know what I mean? Like if I weren't in school and then it's like, things like that, right? It's like, people play a part, like who you hang around as well plays a part about like, how you are a person, right? So it's like, don't have to say too much, right? But it was just like, I personally felt like people who she was like with, right? Wasn't helping her grow, right? So it's like if she was stagnant, then she'd expect me to be stagnant as well. But it's just like my environment isn't like that, right? I'm with people who are constantly changing, right? Opening me up to like new experiences and things like that, right? It's like I'm learning a lot like like through them, right? So it's like it was just like we're in two different places in life, you know what I mean? So it's like that for sure was just like we were constantly butting heads too. So like that was one thing too. And it's like that thing where I necessarily didn't want to be around people who she hung out with. You know what I mean? It's like knowing how I am as a person, right? I think it was like a conversation where it's like, why don't you ever, like wanna and I always invite you out and whatnot, right? But you always say no, but it's like I don't think I ever told her, but it's like I think I told her, but I don't remember. I think I didn't tell her, but I was just like, because I don't like who you're hanging out with. Like I don't think I mean like not that I don't like who she's hanging out with, but it's like I didn't like that for me. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I was always someone that I'm not with them. You know what I mean? It's
Mm.
like it's like the way that what they were talking about, like like how they were talking, it was just not for me. You know what I mean? Especially like this was like during the time when it was just like Black Lives Matters and all that. It was just like I just wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? I just wasn't feeling it at all. So like that was a whole part of it as well. But but yeah, it's okay now. It's okay. Like people come in your lives for a reason at the same time too. So it's like I'm fine with that. And maybe because maybe I'm just a little too much prone to it as well. I've had other people come in my life and exit out. And we're talking about like, and mind you, I've never because it's like the way that I see it, it's like I equate the term best friend with love too. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like that's something that like I dish out either. You know what I mean? It's
Same.
like if I'm calling someone like my best friend, it's like I'm calling it for a reason because it's like I'm not gonna call anyone that at all. You know what I mean? It's like first gonna be best like fake as hell. I'm not about to call you bestie and I don't know you. Like what?
No, there's this one specific time. I think we've talked about this like a bunch of different times, but there's this one kid at our school who I think you brought it up to me where he asked you like, "Oh, is Emery your best friend?"
You remember that moment too?
Yeah. And
I
like
remember.
and it's weird because it's like, when you're like talking with a guy and it's like, okay, like this is
We're
something.
talking about
Yeah.
okay.
Like the way that he said it was like, so like this is your best friend. And to me, that's such a huge deal. Like
I
these
remember we both were
are
like,
best friends that I've had. I'm like, I don't think we ever use like that term of endearment of like
Uh-huh.
giving that title to someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way he said it was just so like, so that's your best friend, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's
I
like,
see you guys all together. It's
yeah,
funny
like
because
it
like
reminds me of that what's it called? TikTok sound where it was Little Peep's mom, right? And it was like he was always with that friend Tracy, right? And then
mm-hmm.
to Tyler, oh, you use the T. So there's
But
not
it could have been for
his
Tyrone, Tomato, it could have been for anyone.
name is not that. His name is Taylor. So
Oh, okay.
Taylor, right, said that, right? And so it was just like that's your Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Taylor's name came out like that because I they're all T's.
Right. Do
I
you
think
remember how we were though? Like I remember that it's crazy. I remember that situation. I forgot. I didn't even know that you remember that situation yourself too. I remember when he asked that, he was like, so are you and like Emery like best friends? I remember we were just both like, because it's just like it's so funny. I guess we felt the same way about like how we used to word best friends and like how we feel about that, you know? Because it's like obviously we were together all the time, right? But it was more so just like it was still like the very beginning stages of us just
yeah,
being friends. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like it's because we're together all the time. It's like, we're not best
yeah,
friends at that time. Now we are,
yeah.
right? It's like now
Now
we
I
are.
feel comfortable with that like term because
Right.
like how you said like it is saying like I love you. Like
It is.
it's like a very big thing to say. And like especially I feel like with a lot of my friends, like we're not like, like touchy feely or like, you know, mushy gushy type of thing. Even
Right.
though obviously we have our moments where we're like, girl, I love you, like that type of thing, right?
Right.
It's like it's not like that on the daily, like all the time in our faces, but it's so crazy because I feel like we all know it. It's a silent thing that you know that like that's my best friend. And
Exactly.
my thing, it's like I've always been scared to say it because I'm like, what if it's not mutual? Like, what if that person doesn't think I like I'm their best friend in return? And like I've always had little inklings where I'm like, no, like these people are my best friends. Like I remember we went, it was like me, you, and Mina. There, we went to our spot. You may know where this is.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about around Georgetown.
Yes.
Okay.
And we went up there and I was like, these are my best friends. And we took a picture
Let's see
and
if I can find a
like a little
picture.
skyline. And I was like, these are my best friends. Like, and like there's those little snippet moments that you know that these are your people and like these
Right.
people that you can give that term to and not feel, yeah. Why do we look so eggheady?
Well, because like the blur, so that's why. But we
Oh,
have
okay.
hair.
Yeah. But it's so funny to me because like after that we like went to go eat at IHOP and we were just giggling it up and
Mm-hmm.
being like it's so funny because whenever we do go out, like there's this sense of like vibrancy that I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we exude. And like we went to eat recently and it was just like straight giggles and
It
like
was literally, and we haven't seen each other literally like, well, all three of us haven't been together since October. October. That's when we hung out, was like what, Halloween, right? All three of us.
yeah. So it'd been a minute and like
Mm-hmm.
in a like actual time that is a while, you know? So it was just like a very like bubbly, like giddy feeling. And I feel like, I don't know, like I only get that way with specific people. And like it was so funny because I remember another time where my mom like she was like, oh, who you like I guess she immediately assumed the person I was hanging out with was you. Like she
Mm-hmm.
didn't even like ask really.
Right.
And so it was like, oh, like that is my like one of the people I hang out with so much that like of
Right.
you would just assume like that's who I'm hanging out with. But like she knows all of my best friends and she's like,
Right.
oh, like like I know the list. I know the people. And I think that that's why for me I'm always going to be like a girl's girl through and through because it's like these moments of just like great happiness, with people who like genuinely care for you in such a deep way, like I would fight tooth and nail for that. Like, and I think everyone should have those people in your life that you can go to and are like, that is my, those are my people.
People who don't have that, it's either scary as hell or you kind of feel bad for them at the same time too. You know what I mean? Because it's like as they get older, they kind of struggle. You know what I mean? To like maintain that and or
Yeah.
like to find that, and it's like it just infiltrates in like oops, it infiltrates in like different areas in their lives, right? It's like being able to just like hold on a boyfriend, right? That's a struggle for them because it's like they don't really have like that their go-to person to kind of like discuss like what should I do, get some advice and whatnot. They're kind of like going for it on their own, which is a little bit scary at the same time too, you know? And it's
Yeah.
like advice never hurts too, you know? So it's like if I need like if I'm talking like how I'm talking to is like with this guy, right? It's like in my head I could be saying something completely different, but it's like when I say that out loud and ask you, I'm just like, oh, like that's actually not good, right? Because you kind of reiterate in a way. I'm just like, okay, because it's obviously like we're gonna make things seem as good and everything flawless in our heads as possible, right? You know, like when you're actually saying to someone else, it's like completely different. So I think it's like having that, like having just a nice, grounded, stable person, best friend forever, like best friend, right? Most important thing ever. It's the most important thing ever, and it's like best friends boys come and go, boyfriends come and go, but it's like you always want your forever at the same time too. You know what I mean? Because it's like, but it also hurts when you let them go too. Things get in the way. Like if you were to like kill me or something, right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I would not be alive for me to say we're no longer friends. You know that by now. You killed me. But but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's definitely one of those things where like I can't wait to see what like time also does, like what other experiences we're gonna have and stuff, because we are still very young. But I
But
think
I feel like we're so old at the same time too. I feel like we're just so mature for our age, like so mature and sexy for our age.
I knew you had to sprinkle it in there somewhere.
It's
But
like, okay, would you ever? 'Cause I've always thought I'm just like, would I try to rekindle these certain friendships that I've ended? You know what I mean? It's like people who I thought were my best friends, not like everyone who's been in my life, right? That I just no longer talk to. People who are just like I thought giving this title to would like like would be in my life. It's like would I rekindle that friendship? It's kind of just like, do you want to? Do you not want to? You know what I mean? It's like I think it's best not to, in my opinion.
I
It's like
yeah, I
it's like you
agree.
kind of think of it as like a boyfriend. It's like if it ended for a reason, and it's like it ended for a reason, and it's like especially if you guys didn't like work through that or like like find any solution, then it's like the problem is still gonna persist if you guys try to like rekindle that. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah,
guys didn't try fixing it right then when you had the opportunity to right to resolve any issues, but you guys didn't, but just like abruptly ended things, right? Then you're gonna expect it's gonna be the exact same outcome again.
yeah. I think it's one of those things where I think you should just be like, hoping that they're living out their best life and like loving them from a distance, because
Exactly.
that is always the best remedy to it, because obviously you don't have to be directly in their life to know that they're doing well and like they're you know doing their thing. um 1 second, my mom's calling me.
Oh wow. As her mom's calling her, we will sing the song A B C D E F G H I J K L N O P. I did my nails. Can you see them? I did them. Here they are.
Well, they're pretty.
Thank you, thank you. I was showing them my nail. And then I took a selfie.
Cute, cute.
But yeah, like loving them from afar is the best thing. I just hope that I made some sort of impact on their lives positively, obviously. You're making it seem like it's like Oh, here we go again.
No, I'm
Like
kidding. I'm
egotistical bitch, little stuff. I
no.
was hoping that like they took something positively away from our friendship that they like, like continue with someone else. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
what setting boundaries, whatever, right? Giving that example and like how maybe I was a little out of proportion. I'm kidding. But it's like, just like taking something like whatever it may be, right? Like
Yeah.
taking that and just like moving forward, it could be whatever. Something obviously not nothing negative, but just something positive.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where like your friends are always going to be people who like wish you well and like want to see the best for you. And even with like any breakup or friendship breakup, right? Like you always, as much as like things may have ended poorly or whatever, like there's always the
Right.
well wish of like, I hope your life still continues to be great in whatever capacity it needs to be. I'm just not part of it. Or like, and that's okay. And like it's fine to like have that like I guess resolution, like closure to it.
Right.
But
It's okay. Things happen, but
yeah,
everyone set boundaries for sure. You know what I mean? And it's okay if you have friendship breakups. It's a part of life. Things
yeah,
come and things go.
yeah.
Things come, things go. But it's okay.
It reminds me. I've been reading Bell Hooks's All About Love, and I really
Okay, bye guys. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
you told
kidding.
me to be quiet when I was saying to be quiet, but I guess to also just put a cap in it. But she emphasizes how important like community love is, and like that it's a huge aspect and facet of our life that we deserve to pour into because those people are a reflection of us in like the most beautiful way. Like the things we love the most about ourselves, we can find in them. So
Right.
yeah, that's all I gotta say.
That's all I had to say too with my story. You guys let us know down as well if you have any friendship breakups you want to know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll give you advice. Who knows?
No, maybe
Maybe. Let us know how it is for you. Do you
let
think
us.
friendship breakups are better or worse than significant other?
Yeah. I
Better or worse?
That'll be interesting
Wow.
because I think everyone has different perspectives on that.
Right. So you can go through some shit too with a boyfriend or significant other, right? So you can go through some shit.
Yeah.
But I guess it's all situational, but let us know.
Mhm.
Boy.
Bye.